The seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. Herbert going to go to the air right away. As this complete to Daniel Bellinger. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another first down, this time on a gain of 19. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on first down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. These two teams, you may remember, they met in Minnesota earlier in the year with the Vikings coming out victorious. So if they can win again here in Detroit, they'd pull off the season sweep. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Here's the first carry from Matt Breida. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4. Well, this defense for the Lions, they were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
How'd you like to be the quarterback reviewing the game tape from last week and seeing this defense on the spot on almost every snap? If the ball was in the air, they took it away. If the ball was pop free, they picked it up. 5 takeaways in last week's game.
Herbert wants to throw it on 3rd and 1. Well, it's a shuffle pass, and it's complete. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. Well, that's how you use your safety valve, CD. He didn't appear to be the intended target, but they got it to him, and he was able to get just enough to pick up the first.
And what a great example of where we are right now in the NFL, because if you're a running back, you're not just going to carry it. You got to catch it out of the backfield as well. Those combo guys, they're the ones everyone wants on their team.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot, and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
On 2nd and 11 now. Herbert to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Back to throw here, Herbert. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Against a team coming off a win, just as your team did the previous week, you talk about being physical all game long. Sometimes being physical is just being on the spot and helping force the incompletion.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and the Vikings have a 3-0 lead.
And all in all, a pretty decent opening drive, Charles. Pretty balanced. They had the passing game going and the rushing attack, too.
I would think they have to be happy with that start because you get your ground game going, which means your offensive line and your runners are pretty happy, and then you get your aerial attack going as well. So your quarterback and receivers have smiles on their faces. Now both up to speed, awaiting their next possessions for this game. They can't wait to get started again.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down.
Now Jones. And Ingram hauls it in. And some room to work. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. So much for the run on 3rd and 1. Instead, it's a big chunk in the pass game. 1st down. Mixing up the middle. And room there to work it inside the 25. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
The Lions at 7-5 now in the year. And they coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
From the 24, Jones. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
But forget knowing where the 1st down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front. And a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
The kick by Lutz is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So a return of serve, so to speak, here in the 2nd drive of our game as they respond to that opening field goal with 3 of their own.
I like that. Go a little tennis on me.
I know you. You like to mix it up with sports.
They crack a forehand back out and they get a backhand. What was the serve? Which return?
It was a backhand.
I like that.
Really good backhand.
Get some nice top spin on the whole bit. I love it. Almost a mirror image when you really get down to it. I thought that was pretty good stuff.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
The touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Herbert. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Cooper's first catch, and good for a first down. That catch, by the way, number 542 in his NFL career. That draws him level with Lance Allworth, who was a Hall of Famer with the Chargers back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, the man they call Bambi. So if you're in that type of territory, catch the same number of passes he caught, you know you're on your way to a big-time career. And just think, he's not through yet.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Again, it's Kamara. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. In motion left goes a tight end. On 2nd and 11 now. Herbert slings this deep from McLaurin. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Well, wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here.
Absolutely no disguise on that one. They just went for it. Put him out there and said, go deep. Let's try and hit him. Unfortunately, to no avail.
Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Back to the ground, it's Kamara. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Kamara gets it again on 2nd down. 46 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. With that last effort, he topples the 5,000-yard mark for his career.
And that doesn't place you among the absolute greats that have ever played the game, but it's a significant achievement and a very, very solid career.
Kamara is going to go backwards. He'll lose yardage back to the 5.
No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. Keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Can't afford another delay here as they come up again on 2nd and goal. They'll try the air now with Herbert. And
It's out. He put it on the carpet. And will they call it a touchback? No, it's out at the 1-yard line. They were inches there from blowing a golden scoring opportunity. Thankfully for the offense, a fortuitous bounce there on the fumble goes out of bounds because they're down here in the red zone. You don't want to lose one there.
You don't want to lose one, and the best part, because it went out of bounds, they retain possession, still have an opportunity to put points on the board.
So crisis averted, but now facing 3rd and goal. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is going to kick out of bounds. Boy, a fortunate bounce or two there. They'll keep possession back inside the 10-yard line. And his kick is indeed good. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for them.
You're exactly right about that. And this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
From his end zone is Byron Pringle. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And after the field goal last time, see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
It was Maurice Hurst who got him down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. 4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. Back deep, Kevin Byard. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because
and it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Terry McLaurin, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. This is taken just shy of the 10. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Throwing Jones. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he'll be out right at the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Out routes are always timing routes. And if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
After the turnover, here's Herbert. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. Boy, that's tough, Charles. First play of the drive, you're hoping to stay ahead of schedule. You take that huge sack, and now you're facing second and a mile.
And the entire time, you were probably thinking the same thing I was. Either get rid of the ball safely, of course, or go down. The yardage he gave up on that play, that's going to be tough for them to make up.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old, reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the lead stretches. 16-3 now. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. It'll be Lions football to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. From the 10. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Lions take over first and 10 at their own. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stout troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now, they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
On 1st and 10, Jones gets this quickly to Ingram. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. So the PI decline, and that'll give them a fresh set of downs.
And when you scout tight ends, one thing you want to know, just how strong they are. And we saw it in evidence there. He was able to fight through all the contact and still secure the football.
Throwing on first down. Jones. The connecting here with DJ Shark. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
And the Lions are looking at first and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. Mixon will take this one in. It's a Lions touchdown. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play and actually saved him until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. But I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
Second down, and it's Kamara again. And some room to roam now. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Vikings.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
They'll try and run it up the middle. And he is not going to get in there. He stops short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. Flushed out right. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 46 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Jones throw here taken in by Ingram. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. An option handoff here to Mixon. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Here's Jones throwing on first down. It'll be Mixon on the out route as the pass is caught. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
On 2nd and inches, Jones. Toward the sideline, he will have the first down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet inbounds. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
Give every member of that unit a ton of credit for ripping off such a big gain there, because you don't get free for that many yards on a counter or misdirection without everybody selling the heck out of it.
They'll give it to Mixon. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
They'll try and run. This is Robinson. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. James Robinson with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd. Lutz with the extra point. And this is back to a 5-point game. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And we see James. He will now return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. What I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up the touchdown.
Herbert off of play action. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he will finally be taken down. But how about that play? It's a big one on the final act of the 3rd quarter. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Lions 17.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Now it's Herbert. Rolling to his right. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Amari Cooper from 3 yards out. And the Vikings are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. Extra point splits the uprights, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage.
29. Lions 17.
Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. From the 10. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21.
The Lions take over first and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone. Jones on first and 10. Open man right side is Shark. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be second down. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure they only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10. Back to throw. Jones completes it to Evan Ingram. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pickup there, 21 yards. That is catch number 300 now for his NFL career. Now Jones on first down. Left side caught by Diggs. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Dre Greenlaw in there on the tackle. The last run good for 2. Here's second and 8. Operating from the gun, Jones. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. Left tackle Eric Fisher, the former Kansas City Chief, the guilty party. They're backed up here with a first and 20 now after the holding penalty. Looking to throw. Jones. He's got the hook up with Diggs. And they're going to be set up now with a ball at the 13-yard line. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. A quick throw complete to Chark. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. That play gets them 6 yards and sets them up with a first and goal. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
They'll run with Robinson. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. James Robinson with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Lions have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. That's good on the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And we see James, he will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with that last touchdown, I mean, we're set up for a good finish here. Some things to consider, Charles. Obviously, it's a very close game. You're in the 4th quarter. Defensively, they've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket.
So the chess match really ramps up, doesn't it? Because in these situations, what do? Do you run the ball and kill the clock here? Or you try and bury them with another score? And how about defensively? Do you use your timeouts at earliest opportunity? Or wait till you hit the 2-minute warning? So there's a lot going into this one. Let's see how each side goes about their strategy.
Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. 158 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's second down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Herbert now. He's got the connection to Cooper. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 21. And his defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Cooper, the man in motion left. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. And now here comes the third of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. And the Vikings are going to be set up with a 1st and goal as strong running gets them to the 9-yard line. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
It's 1st and goal and a late touchdown at this stage. Could officially salt this one away. Try to pound it in, Kamara. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Oh, Brandon, I'm going to tell you, this is football time to me. They're inside the 10-yard line. That's like drawing the line in the sand. Who's going to make the stand here? Defensive guys, they know if he gets in the end zone, this ball game is over. And the guys with the football right now, they're thinking, let's just pound it in there.
Got to hold them to 3 to keep this a 1-score game. On 2nd down, Kamara. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late fourth quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football, and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
Third and goal from the 6. They'll try to run it in. It's Kamara. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it. Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead.
Makes the score Vikings 36, Lions 24.
Now following the touchdown, Richter to kick off. from the 10. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they have had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
And this is not going to be what they needed. They get a few here, but now third down as the clock runs. On third down, Mixon. Oh, a solid stiff arm and some open field. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. Mixon with a first down carry. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. A higher scoring game, Charles, than we typically see in the National Football League, but fun to watch these offenses. They were really clicking. It seemed like everything that they dialed up worked.
Yeah, it certainly was fun to watch from our perspective. I'd like to be those defensive coaches, though. That wasn't a blast for them at all. And let's face it, they all game plan, they all scout, they all think they're prepared. But executing and stopping teams, that's another matter entirely.
So for Minnesota, it's a very important win as they move to 9-4 now on the